Crime is spiraling out of control. Resignations from the UPP Youth Forum Executive. LIAT 2020, still a distant dream. The Ombudsman delivers a scathing report. Legal challenges to an MP's independent status. These and many other issues are on the docket of the main opposition party, the United Progressive Party. Today, the party is represented by Jonathan Wehner, a political science and law student, and at age 22, the youngest member of the executive of the party. Good morning, young man. Welcome to Observer AM.
Good morning, Dr. Jackie. It's great, as always, to be here in the studio.
Oh, it's always lovely to be in your presence.
Oh boy.
Let's start with what has been reported in the news in recent times. 4 resignations from the Youth Forum Executive. And people are asking, what the hell is going on?
Oh boy. But before I address the youth executive there, let me say something. On behalf of the party, the United Progressive Party, we're going to extend our condolences to the Honorable Prime Minister Gaston Brown on the passing of his mother. And many of us would have seen the outpouring of love and affection that he had for his mother, he and all his children and family members, and we just wish him the best and well in this time of mourning. So yeah,
thank you.
No problem. As it pertains to the resignation of 4 youth executive members from the youth arm, there's not much I can say in terms of specific details publicly as it is as of now, because the leadership is supposed to meet with those 4 individuals of the youth arm. But what I can say personally from my experience, I'm 22 years old, as you would have said. I'm the past chair of the Progressive Youth. I am still a member of the Progressive Youth as well. I must say that there's a lot of rumors out in the public that the UPP does not respect young people, does not value them, does not give them mentorship or give them any place for upward mobility within the party. Dr. Jackie, I have to say that is not my experience, and I have to say that's totally wrong, because I am 22 years old, and yes, I am here on Observer Radio time and time again representing the entire United Progressive Party on its policies and views. Secondly, there has been upward mobility within the party for young people because, one, you had the now former brother Anthony Smith, who within 4 years' time within joining the party became an MP for the United Progressive Party. So he would have been at the top echelons of the leadership of the party. Also, look at Brother Kelvin Shugi Simon. He's a young person as well. Within a short space of time, he was elevated to the highest ranks within the party. You look at MP, the political leader, Honorable Jamal Pringle. When he was elected the first time, he would have been in his 30s. And now he is the political leader of the organization. And they can go on and on and on. Where youth, you see their talent, you mentor them, you nurture them, and you give them the upward mobility. So there's time and time again, there are examples where young people have been given that mobility within the party. So I can't say that youth are not valued. These young people, they have their grievance. I want to make the public aware that they have not resigned from the party. They're still members of the party. However, the leadership is supposed to be meeting with them and just to hash out a few things, get a few things clear, and determine the way forward. So I don't want the public to be concerned that, the UP is in turmoil and everybody's leaving, and that's not the case at all. So young people, we're still fully behind the United Progressive Party. We're still party supporters, and I can tell you as a member of that group and organization, we're still all pulling together for the UPP 100%.
Okay. I think many persons saw the images of 2 of those executive members or 3 of those executive members at Government House with the Honorable Anthony Smith.
Yes, that did happen, but just to make it clear, they're still members of the United Progressive Party. They're still members, they're still party supporters, and they still retain their membership.
Okay. Are things settled now in the party? Because there were lots of rumors about other members defecting.
Dr. Jackie, I think almost all of our MPs, or if not all, have made it very clear that they are 100% behind the United Progressive Party. I remember the Prime Minister would have made some comments about Honorable Richard Lewis and some ambassador position, and Honorable Richard Lewis came out and publicly stated that's not true, and he disparaged the comments made by the Prime Minister Gaston Brown. So the MPs, the party, we are united in this time, and I believe time will tell. As with the other defections in the past on the Honorable Gaston Brown, that this deal that he made with Anthony Smith would not be a very good one for the future. Because if you look at it, Dr. Jackie, MP Anthony Smith, he has a court case. Court case is being brought against him, challenging his independence, quote unquote, within the House. And we are fully confident that those court cases will prove that he's not independent. His seat will be declared vacant and there'll be a by-election. And Dr. Jackie, having met with the constituents of All Saints West, having met with his own branch people, there's a resolve within those members of the constituency to send a message to Anthony Smith that we who put you there, we didn't give you the right to go and defect over to the Labour Party. You were elected overwhelmingly with a United Progressive Party mandate. You were elected overwhelmingly because the people wanted a change in government. He got 2,022 votes. Mm-hmm. He beat Labour Party candidate, Honourable Michael Brown, by 561 votes. He won 13 of the 15 boxes in All Saints West. You did not get that mandate for the people of All Saints West to get more of the same by you going over into the Labour Party administration, Honourable Anthony Smith. So you have betrayed the people by not even consulting them before you made a decision, and you've betrayed the people by lying to them because you denied until we saw you being sworn in at Government House. So that cannot stand in our politics, and people who say that's just the way of politics, I'm a young man in this country. That's not the way I want to see my country go, Dr. Jackie. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to look up to people who are in the highest office in our land and say, if this person says that is their word is their bond. You can't come and say one thing today and you're saying the opposite thing tomorrow. That cannot stand in our politics, Dr. Jackie.
With this defection of Honorable Anthony Smith and his current status as a so-called independent, but very much under the whip of the Antigua-Barbuda Labour Party, and maybe that word whip used advisedly, it is the correct term, but it also is quite apropos. What is the status of the court challenge brought by the United Progressive Party?
Well, that is supposed to be wrapping up in a few days' time. I believe we probably could hear more about that right after the carnival break, because we have a holiday and have a little break there. But the main substantive issue of the matter is that not just the party, but I believe members of the constituency as well bring a case against him. Okay. Is that Section 41(1) subsection of the Constitution, we all know it by now, and it says the one provides that you don't vacate a seat once you resign a party whip, is that you remain an independent member of the House.
That's right. And
that is the crux of the matter. Is he an independent member of the House? Because if he had resigned from the United Progressive Party and sat, as Asset Michael does, away from all of the parties under nobody's party whip, then he would undoubtedly be an independent member. However, the day after he resigned, Dr. Jackie, he was sworn into the government's cabinet. Mm-hmm. Having been sworn into the government's cabinet, public, I want you to follow this reasoning very carefully. The cabinet is responsible for drafting the legislation that comes before Parliament. The cabinet is responsible for coming together and creating the policy that goes before the House for debate. House of Representatives, I'm speaking about, the lower house, Parliament. How can MP Anthony Smith say that as Minister of Agriculture, Lands and the Blue Economy, you are drafting bills under the advice of your members in cabinet? You give your opinions to other persons' bills as well too, who are in the cabinet, and you're going to come to Parliament and say the same bills that you are part and parcel of drafting, you are therefore independent in your debate by you being a participant in the process of drafting those bills. How can you be independent when the bill is being debated in the House? Because you have a vested interest in seeing that bill passed, because it is, in your opinion, the best bill that there is, because you were part of suggesting it, drafting it, and bringing it before the House. So therefore, by that alone, that should tell the public he's not independent. However, on top of that, he swore an oath of secrecy. I don't want to get into all the details because we did that already in previous shows and we have a lot of other issues to go through. But you'll hear more about this more in depth after the carnival break and so on, where Honorable Anthony Smith, you can't insult the intelligence of the people of Antigua and Barbuda, because it is clear for all to see you are not independent. You are subject to Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown and his cabinet. You are subject to the whims and the wishes of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, because that's who the cabinet is controlled by, and you cannot tell us who are right-minded, sensible thinking people anything else.
And the court will have to determine what is exactly is independence. The court will have to determine that. Are you part of as a law student, are you part of the legal team, learning a few things from the KCs who are looking
Jackie,
at this?
Trust me, they don't need my help. That legal team is a very stellar lineup, as you would have heard from Justin Simon Casey on his interview with
Yes.
you the other day.
Yes. Now, a rather erroneous statement was made by Max Hurst and Melford
Yes.
Nicholas,
Yes.
trying to equate Honorable Trevor Walker's role in the UPP cabinet and the current situation with MP Anthony Smith and the Antigua-Barbuda Labour Party. Perhaps you can address this for us, sir?
Well, you see, Lionel, not Lionel.
Don't do that.
Lionel Max Hurst, Ambassador Lionel Max Hurst. He has a mantra. He has to come out to defend the public at all costs. And it is very unfortunate that he has been reduced now to this red herring throwing across the trail, across the minds of the public. It is really ridiculous, as I said, to insult the intelligence of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Because if you look at it, a coalition government was formed between the United Progressive Party and the BPM from 2004 to 2014. Now, I would have really been annoyed by Ambassador Max Hurst's comments, because those are two very separate situations between Trevor Walker, the Honourable Trevor Walker,
Yes.
and Honourable Anthony Smith. The Honourable Trevor Walker never resigned his party whip and defected to another party. Never resigned his party whip and became a cabinet member in an opposing party's government. Once you resign your party whip, as we said, your seat must become vacant unless you remain an independent member. Now, I want to explain something.
So he was in essence a member of the BPM, Barbuda People's
Yes.
Movement, and so it was really a coalition with the United Progressive Party.
No.
It's totally different.
I want to read a definition.
Black and white.
To educate Ambassador Max Hurst and Melford Nicholas, and also the public as well too. I'm reading from oxfordreference.com, which is a website where you can get some definitions too. I'm reading specifically from the Dictionary of Social Sciences. It says, a coalition government is a government formed by the cooperation of two or more parliamentary parties.
Yeah.
Coalition governments are rare in two-party and plurality electoral systems, but common in systems that use proportional representation. Under special circumstances, such as when no party wins a convincing plurality of the votes, or if a gesture of united national purpose is felt to be needed, major parties sometimes form a grand coalition. Now,
Yeah.
Dr. Jackie, based upon that definition, you can clearly see that the latter circumstance is a situation that existed between 2004 to 2014, where a gesture of united national purpose was deemed to be important by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Winston Baldwin Spencer, at that time, to align himself with the cause and the plight of the people of Barbuda, as he has done since the 1980s, when he and the Honourable Hilborn Frank were the only two opposition MPs in Parliament. So the Honourable Baldwin Spencer lived true to his word by aligning himself with the Barbuda People's Movement representative MP, Honourable Trevor Walker. So there's no defection there. It's merely an alliance, and as we call it in political science, a coalition government.
Right.
So it's not the same thing as MP Anthony Smith.
Do you think that Mr. Hurst and Melford Nicholas, they don't know that? But, they have a way of just thinking that the entire population, that we are stupid. That is the point. And I'm very happy that you were able to share that with our listeners and viewers. Let's take the break, though, Mr. Wehner. If you joined us late, we are speaking with Jonathan Wehner, the youngest member of the UPP Executive, and we are addressing the issues of the day on the socio-economic and political landscape of Antigua and Barbuda. Now, Mr. Wehner, Jonathan, crime has overtaken us, and every single day there is some new, bold, brazen criminal act. We saw just yesterday the dastardly act of using a child as a shield in a holdup of a Syrian restaurant. What would you like to say as a young man, as a young executive member of the UPP, to the Minister of Public Safety and the Commissioner of Police?
Two things. Do more, be more transparent. Do more, be more transparent, Dr. Jackie. It is very sad. It brings me no pleasure to see the government failing when it pertains to addressing crime, because crime affects all of us. It doesn't matter if you're red, you're blue, you're orange, you're black, whatever it is. Crime affects everybody, from the highest to the lowest of us in the socioeconomic standings. So, Dr. Jackie, it is very important for the government to get this crime plan right, to get it out there, to get this crime response correct. It is in nobody's interest to see crime out of control. That being said, Dr. Jackie, I want to read a letter to the public now from the leader of the opposition, the Honourable Jamal Pringle, who wrote to the Commissioner of the Police. Note the date, Dr. Jackie, July 3rd, 2024. We're now August the 2nd, correct?
Yes.
The 2nd of August. It reads, just an excerpt. The matter of the 13-year-old boy who has been missing since mid-February this year has aroused the concern of the public and deeply disturbed the leadership of the UPP. We cannot understand how a matter as serious as this, and which we have confirmed was reported to 2 police stations, was not brought to the public's attention by the usual means of the missing persons bulletin or any appeals from Stratcom. It goes on to say later down. Too many tourists and residents, including senior citizens, have had their belongings stolen. Too many businesses have been held up and robbed, some in broad daylight. Too many crimes remain unsolved. Too much fear and too much insecurity stalk this land. Accordingly, we are requesting, that is the United Progressive Party, a meeting between a parliamentary delegation and you, Commissioner Rodney, so that we can better understand what appear to be grave shortcomings in our expectations of the force and how the UPP might help to bridge the communication gap with the public. I look forward to hearing from you soonest. Now, Dr. Jackie, you would hope that because the leader of the opposition reached out his hand to help to bridge that gap, as you said, with the communication between the public and the police, and to ascertain what exactly the commissioner's plan is, that the commissioner would be eager to respond and cooperate. However, Dr. Jackie, since July the 3rd, when this letter was sent, no response.
Almost 1 month.
Exactly. A day from a month. Almost no response has been given to the leader of the opposition. And this is the wanton disrespect that we see being meted out to our opposition MPs in almost every level of government, whether it be in Parliament, the Cabinet, the Commissioner of Police, even with the installment of the Information Commissioner and Mr. Anthony Athill. There is no respect when it comes to the opposition trying to do their part and play their role as representatives of the people. You're not disrespecting the Honorable Jamal Pringle. You're not disrespecting MP Algernon Watts or MP Kelvin Simon. You're disrespecting the constituents that they represent. So when that, because you sit on the opposition benches, mean I must disregard you and I must disregard your constituency. There are people who voted for you, Honorable Gaston Brown, in those same constituencies you lost. But because you lost them means you're going to neglect them or neglect their representatives when they come to the business of the people. We have to get serious in Antigua and Barbuda. Crime affects everyone. So when the opposition reached out his hand and people are saying, what are the United Progressive Party doing? What are we doing? They don't understand the difficulty that it is just to get basic cooperation at all levels of government from this administration. It's ridiculous, Dr. Jackie. It's frustrating because it's not the only instance. Time and time again, the representatives of the people attempt to do what they were elected to do. And they are neglected, they're ignored, and they're disrespected. So, Commissioner of Police, you need to cooperate with the opposition MPs in their attempt, because I remember the last time I was here, you asked me what is the crime plan?
Yes.
From the UPP. We can't create a crime plan without consulting the police and seeing exactly what is going on. So by you ignoring us, Commissioner Rodney, how are we supposed to move forward as a united country, a united front against this universal problem of crime? We need to work together, and this disrespect cannot continue.
So you are actually, the party is actually looking for more of a bipartisan approach,
exactly.
A consultative process where the commissioner and civil society and the political parties can bring
together.
their ideas and try to solve this problem of crime in Antigua.
Yes, and Dr. Jack, I know you see the frustration on my face because
I see it, yes.
I meet it at every point since I've joined the executive level of the UP and seeing the frustration that we have where the administration just blatantly ignores and disrespects us in the public. He needs the cabinet led by the Honorable Gaston Brown needs to realize, as I keep on saying, they are representatives of the people. You're not ignoring and disrespecting politicians. You're disrespecting citizens and residents of this nation who looked to choose their representatives to represent their interests and their well-being. So please, Honorable Gaston Brown, I'm begging, cooperate with this bipartisan olive branch that we're reaching out to address this universal, as I keep on saying, problem of crime. It needs to stop. It needs to change.
Do you think perhaps that the Commissioner of Police is under the guidance of the Prime Minister, who would be the Minister of National Security?
Well, many would say so, Dr. Jackie, but I can't speak definitively on that. But by his actions, it only appears so, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, there's this damning report from the Ombudsman. What is your take on Dr. Marion Blair's courage and forthrightness and the reaction of the cabinet to it?
And Dr. Jackie, this is very unfortunate. some words you used there, her courage and forthrightness.
Yes.
Because the Ombudsman is a creature of the Constitution of Antigua and Barbuda.
And this is an independent.
This is an independent
Truly
individual.
independent.
A truly independent individual who's a creature of the Constitution. It should not take courage and forthrightness to do your basic job in this country. We're sick and tired of this victimization and politicization of basic issues, as I keep saying. So the Ombudsman report is very damning to the deficiencies and inadequacies of this Gaston Brown-led administration. Let me get into a specific example. I'm a young person, so I'm going to always gravitate to the issues in the report that deals with youth.
Yes, please.
By the way, before I go do that, the Ombudsman also said, Dr. Marion Blair, that there has never been a parliamentary debate on the report of the Ombudsman for her entire tenure, from 2016 to 2024. Never. Why is that, Honorable Gaston Brown? But I continue. She speaks about the boys' training school at Comfort Hall. I want to read an excerpt from it. There was no comfort within those halls in 2017. It was a horrible, dilapidated, squalid, and decrepit institution. It was closed in 2018, and 5 years later, by the way, this is in 2023.
Yes.
So 5 years, it will be 6 years now. 5 years later, it is still under repairs. For 5 long years, these juvenile offenders have been incarcerated in the maximum security block at Her Majesty's prison. When the Ombudsman visited the jail in October 2023, they were distributed between the maximum security and Steel City, in quotation marks, that is the containerized cells. The Ombudsman spoke with a 13-year-old, 2 14-year-olds, a 15-year-old, and a 16-year-old housed in the containerized cells. These individuals said they were not attending school, which is, by the way, illegal,
Yes.
and that no teacher visited them. Their formal education was on hold. Instead, they were attending informal classes in the yard, being tutored by adult offenders who were supposedly trusted and or working inmates. Dr. Jackie, we talk about a caring government. We talk about a responsible government. We talk about a government looking after the interests of the people. Antiguans and Barbudans listening to the sound of my voice this morning. It grieved me when I read that for the first time. Dr. Jackie, tears almost come to my eyes. I'm not saying that to be dramatic, because I can't imagine young people. I don't know what they were brought in for, but young people who have been housed at Her Majesty's prison for years on end.
It's painful, very painful.
No hope in sight, no education being done, and they're being looked after by adult inmates. What do you expect them to happen when they come out of prison, when they're being socialized by those individuals? We have to do better in this country.
Thank you. I feel your passion. I hear your passion, Jonathan. Jonathan Wehner, thank you very much. Always a pleasure talking with you.